Here we go. Bolt Bros
Bolt
in the
Bros.
house.
That's right.
Let's
right.
go.
Yee! I got the better one, man.
Yeah,
that is the better one. That is the better one. Sure. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
So we're here for the pregame show versus the Patriots this weekend. They are in New England. Game is on NFL Network, by the way, guys. I don't know if locally in Los Angeles they're going to still broadcast it, which I assume they would. But basically, if you have NFL Network, that's where the game will be broadcast at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Saturday. So keep an eye out for it. But it's a big game. This is a big one for the Chargers specifically. A lot riding on this one for playoffs. So a lot.
Yes, we do want to talk about the playoffs because we have to be in the playoffs, baby.
That's right. Yeah. We get that dub this weekend. We will be in the playoffs. So we could talk more about that in the show for sure. But big game this weekend, guys, for the Bolts.
All right, guys, we ready to get into it?
Let's get into it.
Bolt Bros.
Bolt Bros. Let's go.
Denzel Perryman, man. You watching the Bolt Bros podcast. Stay tuned.
Charter blue dreams, stadium lights gleam. Bolt Bros on the beat, lead stream. Chargers rocking speeds, Sonic supreme. From the podcast to the field, we're a team. Charged up, Bolt Bros on the night. LA Thunder in electric delight. Bolts in the battle, sparking bright. Charged up, ride the lightning, feel the fright.
Woo woo!
Woo woo!
Hey, go! The whistles go woo!
Yep.
Hey, I got breaking news actually right now. 20 minutes ago, Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero just tweeted out saying that the Chargers are activating J.K. Dobbins from the IR, so he will be starting this weekend. So, big. One thing he also added on that post is that he was a top candidate for comeback player of the year. Dobbins leads to the team with 8 touchdowns. Now he's back to add to it. So, hey, if he does well in the next 2 games, he could be that comeback player of the year. So we'll see.
He's trying to get that in bags, man. I tell you what, dude, like he's going to ask for a lot of money. A lot of money.
I hope so, man. I mean, he deserves it with his performance. Like, he's been doing great. Like he's an actual running back, elusive back, so yeah, man. And I love to see him out there, man. Like him and Deion Henley, man, look like they're the funniest guys in the locker room, man. I bet.
Oh, they're the best. They're the best.
Good dude.
I remember I asked him to do an intro with us at training camp, and he was like, "Oh no, man, let me go talk to my marketing person. I don't know if I could do it. I get fined if I do it, and unwillingly."
Oh, jeez.
So he walked away. He's like, "I'll be back." Never came back.
Never came back. Yeah. Hey, it's possible. I mean, I wonder if Denzel actually got in trouble for it. Maybe even Cameron Dicker too. I don't know.
Beats me. But I don't know. I think most of the guys are pretty willingly able to do it. So either which way, JK, man, exciting to have you back, man, my friend. I'm glad to be able to have you back on the team. We need you, especially. And we'll talk about the injury reports ahead. Gus Edwards is out for this game too. So,
he is. He's going to be out there.
He is out of this game. So it's going to be Kamani Vidal with J.K. Dobbins in the backfield, probably with a little Hassan Haskins in the backfield too. So, and he made that big play last game too, man. It seems like it's been a long time since Chargers football has been going on, man. Does it seem like a long time now?
Yeah, I mean, it was Thursday, and then
it's been a while.
It was a mini bye week for him, So it's like
remember mini bye week for sure.
Yeah,
it just feels like it's been forever. Gosh,
I know it's because we're addicted, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's right. You're like
straight to the vein.
We're walking around. We're like, come on, hit that vein real quick.
Come on, give me.
You got that good stuff. You got that good stuff.
Yeah, man.
man, I got these cheeseburgers, man. You know what I'm saying?
Man, oh man, dude. But hey, I'm looking forward to it. Chargers football's back. And by the way, let's just start talking about it because we chatted about it already. Chargers could clinch a playoff berth this weekend, basically with a win. That's all it is. It's all it's going to take at this point, guys. Get a win, and Chargers are in at this point. So
get a win, and
you're in, baby. So
I like that.
The Ravens already clinched their playoff because they won this weekend. A slacking on the Texans. I mean, holy smokes, that wasn't even a game by any means, dude.
That was ridiculous, by the way. Yeah. That was just crazy. Embarrassing
for the Texans. Now, once again, you want to be that 5th seed, right? You do want to be that 5th seed at this point. Like, be the highest of the wild card, and that's really the goal for the Chargers too. I think that's where we have to get to. And there is a road to get to that 5th seed. I mean, I will tell you, we have to be Bengals fans for the next 2 weeks. Bengals need to beat the Broncos this weekend, and then the Bengals need to beat the Steelers the next game to end the season for them.
Okay.
If they do that, they will be playing the Steelers to end the season. Steelers end up losing that game. We win our next 2. We will be 5th seed at that point. So that is huge for the Chargers.
Yeah, then we could just dry hump the Texans, dude. You know what I mean? That's what we want to do. We just want to dry hump them. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right.
They won't like it. They won't like it.
That gets me excited. That gets me excited for sure, man. Yeah.
You got the blue chews rolling already, dude.
Yeah,
They're going.
Yeah, where's the boy?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Out of your Falcon mind, dude. Great to see you guys, man.
Hey, what's up, man?
Falcons got some games ahead of them, man. And Michael Penix, man, came in and made that team looking good, dude.
I will say this: the defense kind of kept them in it, and obviously, would they get 3 turnovers in that game, something like that? It was crazy.
Hey, we had 4 turnovers to beat the Falcons, so I mean,
that's a good point. That's a good point. Not to bring up, a salt in the wound there, James. That's great. They show up. I mean, that's like, man, that's like, I don't know. That's
what the heck just happened?
Give someone a noogie when they walk in your house, dude. Come on,
no doubt.
You want to say hello?
No doubt. Oh man, but great to see. Bottom line, win and we're in. That's all we're trying to achieve at this point.
We're in.
And I think that we have a great chance to make that happen. Now, I did want to pull up real quick the scenarios of either which way, how this works for the Chargers to get a lock in the playoff. This is where it is. Simple as that. Win and you're in at this point. And reason why that happens is because there's not enough games for Miami or the Colts to even get back in the game if the Chargers win, because they'd be basically a 10-win team. Miami and Indianapolis. I cannot say that.
Indianapolis.
They can't get to that point. They can't get to that point. So they can only get to 9 wins at this point. So basically, Miami loses or tie, or Indy loses and tie, and the Chargers basically win. They basically will kind of make it a little too tight. Or excuse me, if Chargers lose, Miami wins, Indy wins, that will make it a lot difficult. Pretty much comes down to that Raiders-Chargers game for the Chargers to be able to get into the playoffs. So pretty much right now, you control your destiny. You go out there and handle your business and get a win and just call it a day. One thing I want to say, like Harbaugh even said something really cool too. I think in one of his post games, or actually one of his interviews this week, he said, hey, look, 10 wins could possibly get you in the playoffs. 11 wins will guarantee you in the playoffs.
Yes.
And really at this point, 10 wins will guarantee us into the playoffs somewhere or another. But I like that he worded it that way, because he's more or less saying, hey, look, win every game from this point on. Who cares? Just get to 11 wins. That's a huge, huge goal for the Chargers. So that would be a massive win for the Chargers to go to 11 wins.
Oh yeah,
that'd be huge.
Hey,
I want that 11 wins, because then it gives us hit Harbaugh a higher chance to get Coach of the Year, and I'm gonna get that bet win too. Get that money as well.
Get that coin, baby.
Get that cheddar.
I mean, hey, it's like Little Dicky. Yeah, you can get that money.
Get that money.
Well, actually, he said save that money though. He said save that money.
Saving it, yeah.
Oh, save that money. Don't spend that money. Save that money, man. Throw it. But yeah, bottom line, man, that would be huge for Harbaugh to be able to get the nod to potentially be a Coach of the Year. I mean, you got to understand what we had last year. We were 5-12 last year. If we go 11-6, that is massive. Essentially with the same players too, and a lot of fill-in type players throughout this year too, by the way.
Actually, and less offensive weapons technically on paper, because we lost all of our wide receivers, running backs, and things like that, and even tight ends. So like the offensive weapons that we have are like significantly less. It's like a whole new offense, basically.
Oh, big time. Absolutely. Completely different offense for us, and a lot less weapons all around too. And I wanted to kind of point out here, Grandizer talked about leading series 27-16-2 for big New time. England Patriots. Guys, this ain't the same Patriots it's been the last 2 decades, essentially. Like this is totally different team right now. I mean, they're in a complete disarray. There's even talks about Mayo getting even replaced as a head coach already, even after Belichick essentially said that he was going to be the head coach after he left. So totally different team right now, guys. And I do think that they are a little bit of a scrappier team too, on the defensive side. Offensively, they're still trying to figure it out, but it's a different team, guys. It's a different era of Patriots football. And I did want to throw out also too, here in Arizona, if you guys want to, you go to the watch party at Native Grill and Wiggins is what we like to keep calling and say it.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a really good time, guys. A lot of Chargers fans there. Super fun time. Last time we even had some cake because we had a birthday there too. It was pretty killer.
Nice.
And we had a great time for that Broncos game. It was awesome. What a win that one was, by the way, guys. And, 11 a.m. on the patio there. Weather's great out here in Arizona, so it should be a good time. So come on out to that. I believe Andrew and I and Kyle are talking about doing a live stream of play-by-play for the game too. So we're announcing that first here, guys. Bolt Bros will be doing the announcements and watching the game live with you guys. So we will have a full live show.
Will be included. Cheesy jokes will be included.
Oh, most def.
Yeah.
Most def.
I'm gonna just be eating a jar full of blue chews the whole time. So yeah.
You might have a heart attack. You might have a heart attack, pass out or something. I don't know.
Right. You can have a heart attack doing that, Kyle. What are you doing? Come on now.
Hey,
your body can only take so much.
No way, dude. Hey, my heart is made of steel because the Chargers have already given me so many heart attacks over the years. So yeah. It is well exercised.
So.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm dead inside. So, don't matter to me. I'm a White Walker,
Oh, yeah.
So,
oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Hey, by the way, just a little side note. I cannot get the videos to work since I'm only on the one laptop. So I cannot get those little clips to work.
Okay.
Guys. So,
it's all good, man.
No film study today, folks. I apologize. I know exactly.
Andrew,
I know. I need a second body.
A big fail here, buddy. Yeah.
Whoa. That's a bolt down. That's a bolt down.
Yeah, that's right. That's the bolt down. Yep.
Oh man. Yep. No doubt. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. It'll be a good one. But if you're in Arizona, come on out. Great weather and everything too. Hanging out with a bunch of Bolt fam there from Bolt Pride 602.
Oh, look at that.
Clean sweep for the game preview picks this week.
We even got Adam Stank on our side too.
We don't want him on our side. That's the thing.
Yeah, we don't like that food.
That guy chooses. Guess what? We end up losing. So that's not going to happen. I don't imagine that's going to happen this weekend. But that guy, it was funny. I remember in the preseason, I think he only had us at 6 wins or something. Maybe even might have been 5 or something like that.
It was really low.
The guy hated us, dude, and it was ridiculous, dude. But bottom line, we got a clean sweep here. Good chance to be able to win this. I think the spread is 4.5 right now, too, for the Chargers in favor on a road team, cold weather type game. I think this has actually got a chance of showers this weekend for this game, too. Yeah. Possibly even some snow, too. I'm actually just going to kind of bring that up real quick. So currently tomorrow will be cloudy at 47 degrees, 11% rain chance.
Not so bad. Not so bad.
Yeah, it'll be mellow. It'll be a mellow game. It'll be a good game for us. And once again, J.K. Dobbins is back. That's major for the Chargers.
Huge
for the Chargers.
Yeah, we need that run game for the playoff times. All that stuff.
I'll talk a little about the run game. I was watching a Chargers Weekly, and he was talking quite a bit about the run because I don't know. Does it bother you guys when we just keep running on first down and second down? We get 1 or 2 yards. I was like, dude, come on. Yeah. Why are we running these stupid plays?
It's way too predictable to just run it on the first down all the time,
Yeah. But the argument is it's not about getting the yards. It's about beating up the defense. Yeah. And because the argument is that what you're doing is you're getting the defense to play because you are in control of your destiny, right? Because you're pulling your guards, you're hitting the edges, you're hitting the corners, you're hitting the linebackers. You're knocking them on the ground and forcing them back. So then you keep getting a more of a push. And then later on in the game, like we saw against the Denver Broncos, we eventually snapped out quite a few long runs, right? So That's the argument with sticking with those type of run plays on first and second down. Again, I get frustrated with it because I think it's a little annoying. I think we need to mix up some play action and do some other things on the top of it. But I'm just saying that that's kind of one thing that Matt Money Smith brought up. He's, I think he called it tenderizing the meat. I thought that was pretty good. So you're just tenderizing that meat. You hit him with a meat mallet, bah, 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 bah. And fourth quarter, they're going to be beat up. They don't want to stop you anymore.
I'll let that one slide. Yeah,
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Tenderizing the meat.
No, you got that. Tenderizing. You guys got dirty minds. You got dirty minds.
Yeah.
But I get what he's saying. It could have been worded a little differently. I don't know.
I think the hand gesture too was a little sus as well,
God.
bro. So
It was so funny. That is so funny. Oh,
Yeah.
that is good.
But I get what he's saying. The thing is, though, go out there and keep pounding the defense. Get them tired. I get it.
Oh, I think I broke Andrew here.
I know.
Hey, what's funny? I didn't even think about it. Until I was like, I'm gonna let that go. Like, oh shoot.
Wow.
Triple clowns.
This podcast is brought to you by what is it? We got Blue Chews, and then now we're gonna have Astral Glide, dude. We got Astral Glide.
Oh boy. Yeah, we gotta change the ratings on this one. We gotta change.
Oh yeah.
This ain't for kids.
This is the adults only show right now. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah.
Tenderizing your meat.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I know, man. Hey, dude. No joke, Carlos. We might be at a Diddy party right now, dude. It's kind of got some conversation here.
Oh my God.
Funny, man. Too funny,
man.
but
Boy.
by the way, I wanted to say, George, hey, happy birthday, my man, dude. And hopefully you get that big dub this weekend so you can lock in that playoff spot for the Chargers. So that'd be a great birthday present for you.
Happy birthday, George. That's awesome, dude. Yeah.
This guy, dude. Dude. But did want to kind of just jump in a little bit too. Yeah, you got to clip that for sure, though, man. For sure, out of your Falcon mind. That's no doubt. That's a good clip. So good. But just kind of throw out the playoffs. And by the way, the Falcons are sitting in a playoff spot right now.
That's right.
Crazy to see, man.
That's awesome.
Basically, the only way they could get into the playoffs is they win the division, essentially, at this point. It's a tough thing because that division is not playing at the records to be able to find a way into the 7th seed unless Washington has some fallout, which I don't think that's going to happen, in my opinion. I think Washington has 9 wins right now, I believe. But either which way,
I think they're 10 now.
Oh, they have 10. So, yeah, pretty much it's division, win the division, you're in, essentially, at that point. Now, crazy to think about that Michael Penix basically finds a way to get them into the playoffs. I mean, I already heard all the reports that they said they're going to dump off Kirk Cousins over there, too, and walk away from him.
Yeah.
I mean, I know this is a podcast talking about the Chargers, but I was thinking a lot about that. It was kind of a smart move for the Falcons to just go out there and take a flyer on a guy like Kirk Cousins. Yeah, obviously they paid him a whole heck of a lot of money, but take a flyer, get a veteran guy, help out Michael Penix a little bit too. You got a guy on a rookie-based contract that's very, very manageable in comparison to all of the quarterback, salaries out there. It's not a bad thing to just bring in a guy like that, and then hey, if he works out and Cousins doesn't work out, you could say, hey, see you later. We invested some money in you. See you later, but we got our guy. Sorry, and move on. It's when you start thinking about that, I think it was the number 8 pick of him going after a quarterback after you sign a quarterback that you think is the franchise guy. You kind of think, man, that's weird. But hey, I think the Falcons are just trying to find their franchise guy finally. That's the thing. I think that's what they're trying to do. Outside of when they had Matt Ryan, that was their guy for the longest time. But they struggled to find it. And there's many teams out there that would love to have a franchise quarterback. And I think Falcons did the right idea, essentially, drafting Penix. So,
well, but I think talking about the AFC, right? I think I would like I said, I would like to play Houston, over Baltimore. I do not want to play Baltimore again. They're playing great football.
Yeah, they really are.
Houston's playing horrible, and I'll say this: Pittsburgh's playing horrible too. I can't remember.
They've lost the last 3 games,
3 in a row, and
Crazy.
badly too. Russell Wilson's looking like Russell Wilson finally. So I would rather play those 2 teams up there than the Ravens for sure. So
Agreed.
whatever that looks like, I think that'd be hopefully the path we go with. So
the path that we could go to get to that 5th seed, Bengals basically need to beat the Steelers to end the season. And the thing is, though, they're essentially going to be playing the Denver Broncos tomorrow too, or at least, on Saturday too. So the Bengals could beat the Denver Broncos to essentially kind of put the Bengals potentially closer to get into a playoff spot. That would be an absolute miracle if they find a way back into the playoffs.
Okay.
But they could play.
They're a better team, though. They're a better team right now. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Exactly.
They're a better team now.
And Bengals basically could light up the scoreboard. And Denver kind of, as we saw last week when we played them, they
falling
faltered
apart
pretty heavily. So we'll see where that goes. And then obviously if Bengals beat the Pittsburgh Steelers to end the season, Chargers win the next 2, you could be in the 5th seed at that point. And that would be huge. You would go out and play Houston. And then the following week, if you beat the Houston Texans, which I think should be the right way to go with it, then you would either play whoever's going to be the top seed, which is obviously KC, but the top seed, or excuse me, the lowest of the seeds that are left over from the wild card to play the number 1, and then whoever plays or wins, say in the Broncos. Oh, actually, it'd be Broncos and Denver game. That's kind of all situated, but either which way, bottom seed plays basically the 1 seed at that point from the wild card situation. So, personally, I think it would be really cool to play the Chiefs. I would love to be able to hear in the whole chat on that too. I'd love to be able to see us play the Chiefs and find a way to basically maybe sneak a win and just get them when it really hurts, you know?
Yeah.
Get them when it hurts. So now some people are like a little scared about that smoke. I'm all for that smoke. Let's go. Let's go.
And we play them tight every game too. Even when we're struggling, we still play them very tight. And so I don't know, of course I will say this, the Chiefs are playing a lot better these past couple of games. But look, if we play like we played last week against Denver, I think we could beat just about any team. So, that's my take on it. But again, that's what team is going to show up, right? How are the Chargers really going to respond? I guess that's my point, right? Houston and Pittsburgh are struggling. They're limping into the playoffs. Denver, we expose them pretty good. Buffalo's looking great. Kansas City's looking great. Baltimore's looking great, right? And you could argue that maybe the Chargers are probably the 4th best team in the AFC. It's just kind of depending on how you want to look at it. But my point is, I think you want to play the team that's the easiest to pick off.
Sure,
the week one,
especially week 1. Because that's because we haven't won a playoff game since 2018, so we want to change that now. So it's been a little bit too long. So let's make this happen. Let's like I said, getting into that 5th seed spot would be great. Because here's the thing too, is as it sits right now, Denver would have to beat Buffalo, fat chance at that happening, in order for them to play against KC. So that's why I would really love to get in that 5th seed spot. It'd be a little bit more comfortable for sure.
Think of how weird that would be if, say, Denver does beat Buffalo, they would play KC, so they'd go AFC West, and then say the Chargers play. What would be from that point? Let's just say in the scenarios that's sitting there, they say they beat the Ravens. We would, whoever, Pittsburgh, Houston, say they beat them. And then the AFC Championship game is 2 AFC West teams.
That'd be crazy. Yeah.
Think how wild would that be? For KC's run would essentially be all AFC West teams.
Yeah.
That would be incredible to see, guys.
That'd be kind of annoying too, because KC has constantly plays us. They know all our teams so well. It's
Denver didn't beat KC until 8 years later, essentially, or some crazy thing. It's such a long streak of not beating Kansas City. Now, once again, that could be a redemption game. Remember, Broncos almost beat them off a field goal, and then it got a block kick. That was that doesn't happen that often, guys. That's pretty rare.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It's not saying that the Broncos didn't play the Chiefs well. I mean, they did play them well. So
that's that Taylor Swift witchcraft right there.
100% that was.
No, that's an NFL just trying to get that female viewership up. You know what I mean? That's what that's all about. I will say one thing. I know a lot of people are talking quite a bit about J.K. Dobbins in the chat, and I'm seeing Sam talk about it, just everyone's talking about it. The one thing I will say, and then what's your thoughts, bros? And then also in the chat, I'm fairly certain they're going to put J.K. on a snap count.
Yep.
So he's going to be on, maybe 10 carries max type thing. I mean, we're talking max. I think most likely it'll be around that, and then I think the rest is going to be on Kamani Vidal and maybe Haskins. That's about it, right? I mean, that's my take. But what's your guys' thoughts on that? Because you want to bring him in slowly, get his legs under him, and then if you get the win, then you might even just rest more people, against the Ray Turds, since it doesn't really matter at that point.
Yeah, and I kind of thought about that same thing too, and I think it's also going to be, dependent on how the passing game looks. I mean, you feel kind of like what Greg Roman's been doing with this team and really putting a lot on Justin Herbert's shoulders too. I mean, right now we are throwing about the ball about almost 55% right now in the league versus 45% running the ball. So we're throwing the ball pretty well. And yeah, I could totally see J.K. Dobbins pretty much being on a snap count. He hasn't been out there for a bit. I mean, I guess you got to feel confident about Haskins and Kamani Vidal that they could really pick up the load if they necessarily need it. So I mean, obviously we want JK to be healthy. I mean, that's going in the playoffs. We absolutely need him healthy. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. So Carlos saying, we need a healthy playoffs. Brandon Matlock. I'd rest JK altogether. And I'll tell you, dude, you know, another guy that's been amazing is Matlock, right? I mean, him catching that ball and again, meat tenderizer, tenderizing your meat, right? He's out there getting those.
Yep.
I'm just saying, a big boy out there taking that, $180 soaking wet guy. He's 310, 315. Tenderize that meat. You know what I
mean? That was such an awesome play too. He got like a 10-yard catch. Like, I mean, a guy that's a two-way player, actually essentially a three-way player. He plays on special teams also too.
Yeah,
like that's pretty good. And Ken and Mary basically says he might only have about 6 to 10 plays for J.K. Dobbins too. Basically get him ready for the playoffs at this point. And
maybe run Vidal a little bit more. Give him majority of the snaps and stuff. Yeah.
Well, dude, they'll probably want to just shorten the game up as much as well too. Yeah, I know. There you go, Scattaboo. Dude,
when you watch his highlights, I think he fits it perfect for what Jim Harbaugh wants in a running back. He's not the fastest guy, but the guy he's got a lot of wiggle to his game, and meaning as in a lot of guys can't tackle him on first tackle. Like his yards after first tackle attempt is like ridiculously high. The guy is a big dude. He's once again an Arizona State kind of guy, so he's right here in my backyard essentially. The guy could catch the ball. The guy could run the ball. He could run between the lines. He could run outside. The guy is a very, very solid player. I'd love to be able to see him on the Chargers. And I've been hearing that he's been a 4th-round projection. I think it's really all going to depend on his 40 time in the combine. So I think that's where it's going to potentially push his stock up higher is through the combine.
Yeah. Combine always does though, right? Yep. And that's when, people, bench press, 40-yard dash, all the above, right? What is the shuttle drills? You know what I
mean? That was accurate, dude. I mean,
that's how I am when I play pickleball, dude. Just super athletic. Ain't nobody can stop me.
Pop, 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 pop. That's the noise you make. That's kind of
weird.
One more,
dude. Slow feet don't eat.
This guy, dude. But yeah, we're looking forward to the draft because I mean, once again, the draft that happened last year was pretty phenomenal for the Chargers, by the way, too. And I'll pull that actually up here shortly. Well, I had it ready to roll anyways. So here you go. Last year, the draft was great for us. Joe Alt is actually, I think Joe Alt's leading tackles right now for the Pro Bowl, by the way, in votes,
that's awesome.
Look on YouTube. There are a zillion videos breaking down how absolutely incredible he is. And let me just say one thing. I want to talk about our interior line is getting beat up.
Yep.
But here's the reason why, right? Let's not beat them up that much. They know that the edge is locked down. Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt, ain't nobody getting around those guys. So they have to put pressure up the middle. So the middle is getting stunted on. They're getting heavily pressured up the middle. That's what every team is doing because they just know Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater are locked down tackles. So it's like, all right, well, where's the weak link? Up the middle. And so it's a little bit of an unfair rating to beat up the center and the two guards, right? Just because, dude, you got two all-pro tackles, arguably the best two in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep that in perspective. Anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there with our interior offensive lineman.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I, if we're talking about draft or anything like that, I mean, do we go high pick again on the line again next year? Do we kind of sit there and say, hey, you want to get a solid guard or a center or something like that? That's going to be an interesting thing to see that happens next year for the draft. But either which way, you look at like Ladd McConkey, 960 yards, 5 touchdowns on 69 catches. 69 dudes.
69 dudes.
But he's only 40 yards away from being 1,000-yard catcher season 1, which is awesome.
Yeah, he's about to break Keenan Allen's rookie record, isn't he?
Yeah. Very, very close to that. So I don't remember the exact amount of yards on that, but I think Keenan Allen had like 1,020 something yards or something like that in his first year or whatnot, something like that. But basically, look, that's a huge win to get a guy that you drafted round 2, traded up for, and got instant return, and a guy that basically could go out there and potentially get 1,000 yards first season, season 1. Now that brings the whole point up. Like next season, we got about $77 million to spend in free agency. Minus if we did have a move where we move on from Joey Bosa, you add basically another $30 million on top of that. We'll be over $100 million. We could go out and get a wide receiver. Now, there's a lot of speculations, and I'll chat about that in due time, but there's been a lot of wide receivers out there that seem like, hey, I want to get out of this place. There's going to be T. Higgins is going to be available potentially too. So I think there's going to be some trades happening for wide receiver help for this team, in my opinion. Unless there's some guy that they really see in maybe the second round, that they would go after a wide receiver, or would they go first round and just go after the top wide receiver in that point? Who knows? But great to see that return with Ladd. I mean, Kamani Vidal has been a productive guy, and he might be a huge productive guy for this weekend against the Patriots. Tarheeb still is actually one of the top rated defensive players in the league right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Even as cornerback in the league, he's one of the tops. He's right behind, basically. He's like number 2 right now for offensive or rookie of the year, defensive player of the year right now, too. So he's up there, and he's been killing it. Cam Hart's been a lockdown corner for us. It's just his issue is trying to stay healthy, which it sounds like he's going to play this week. And I think they haven't activated him yet, but off the concussion situation. But either which way, year 1 of Joe Ortiz, Chef Ortiz, he's cooking. He is cooking.
Well, and it's not only just the draft. Look at who he's scooping up in waiver wires. Like,
let him cook.
Yeah,
let him cook now. Let him cook.
But like Marcus Maye before he got injured, man, he was killing it. He's on the IR, right? Fisk. Our tight end, that guy is gigantic. He's not the best, catching tight end, but he is a great blocking tight end. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of players that we've scooped up during the year, and they've stepped in and contributed to this team. And so it's interesting because I was thinking a lot about, Ron Tabasco, a.k.a. Tom Telesco.
Coupon Tom. Yeah, that's right.
He would rarely go after players during the year, right? But now it's fairly obvious that every single week we look at the waiver wire, and going back to this week, we thought we were going to go after Deontay Johnson. We thought we were going to get him. We were going to get him, but the Houston Texans got him on a technicality.
Yeah,
because we had more points than them or something like that. I can't remember the exact reason.
I think it was a win-loss.
Strength of schedule thing.
Oh, strength of schedule. That's what it was. Strength of schedule. Yeah,
so
and I'm like,
so obscure because we were both
man?
9-6, like in all that stuff. And then I think it was points in all but it was a really weird all the way down the line. Put the Ravens just ahead of us, just by a hair.
It's so annoying. And again, we would have gotten him if that were the case. So, but my point is this, right? We went out and got a safety. We could have had a wide receiver. I just think, it's good to have good leadership, not only coaching, but on, the general manager team, picking players that can actually come in and help us, internally, which I think is huge.
Yeah, no, big time. I mean, what do we say? We got adults in the room now, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got guys that know what they're doing. And the thing is, shout out once again to the Spanoses on this. This is the first time we've seen in a long time. I mean, Spanoses is a long period of time. They've obligated a lot of money to sign players and pay these dudes a ton of money. I mean, I could go back to the David Boston signing, just giving a shot for some guy. I mean, David Boston was an absolute athletic freak, but man, paid him a whole heck of a lot of money, didn't get anywhere with him. But they gave shots a lot to try to get quality players out here to make it work. And they've just never really put the money at where it really matters. And that's coaching. Like, coaches make a big difference on getting a team to a successful point. And as you can see right now, this Chargers team last season was 5-12, essentially with the same players. Like, now you're almost at a chance where you can get 11-6 this season. That's huge. That is an absolute change of culture for this team. And coaching matters, guys. Same guys that were here last year, dang near, and you got way more out of them too. I mean, the GM has gone out and got guys like Tierra Tart was one of our top players last year.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Puna Ford,
fantastic.
Molden.
Yeah, Molden. Like, go down the list, guys. Like, there has been a lot of makes and there has been some misses, but at the same side, you just got to hit over 50%, in my opinion, and we've done far over 50%, in my opinion. And we've gotten so much out of every player out there too. And by the way, Eddie Jackson and Kendall Williamson was elevated from the practice squad for the game this weekend too. So Eddie Jackson is another guy we signed this week, I believe.
This week, yep.
And he's going to be out there playing for us. So
he was the second choice behind Deontay Johnson, just so you know.
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
But it makes sense. It made sense because obviously we've had a lot of safeties get banged up. We got a lot of safeties out right now.
Yep.
Thankfully, Derwin James has been healthy, so we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, and it's big. It's big to see, man, and it's great to see. And it's great to talk about meaningful football in December. Like, I remember the last couple games of last year. It was like, please just let this season end. I cannot wait for this offseason. We don't have Brandon Staley anymore. No BS anymore. You're going to be starting to think about those rumors about Jim Harbaugh coming to the Chargers, and you get excited about that. And that's what I was excited to get the season over with last season. Now this season, I'm excited to see where the season's going to take us now.
Yes.
And that's what's exciting, guys. And this future is very, very bright for this Chargers team. Like, this organization right now, where it's sitting, it's going to be very, very bright for sure.
Yeah. Before we go into some of the stats, I know there's you got to think about Asante, and then also someone also talked about Tyreek Hill. The rumor he might come over here.
Yep.
I think there's rumors to everything, or there's some truth to every rumor to some degree. Now, whether that's a real conversation or just floating an idea, maybe a GM talking to another GM.
Yeah.
I mean, a good example. What was the big stupid rumor that we were going to trade away Justin Herbert to the Vikings, and then we were going to draft AJ McCarthy and all this other stuff, and we're going to get all this stuff. Well, but we did find out after the fact that there was a conversation, more of a joking conversation at the combine to Joe Ortiz.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, well, we're not going to trade him. That's not even a conversation, right? So my point is, someone could have overheard that and said, oh, there's a rumor, and make up a conversation, Off season, there's a lot of things happening. I do think, though, Asante Samuel wants his bags, and we're probably not going to give it to him. I do think he's a little small for what they want to do. You think about, really Cam Hart is a big dude. He's 220. He's a lot taller, so a little more physical guy. And I think that's kind of what the prototypical guy they want to have moving forward. I don't think Asante really fits that mold, but that's my take. I love Asante. We've interviewed him on the podcast as well. Awesome. So
yeah, he's a good player, man. And the thing is, though, if his shoulder's really this bad, which it's kind of strange, and it's just after week 4 was basically the last time we saw him all season.
Yeah.
If the shoulder's really that bad, I mean, who knows what it's going to be? We kind of feel like he's been in the doghouse or something like that for whatever reason. I know the rumors talking about him wanting to have a big contract, if that's true or not. I don't know. Asante's a really good, solid, cornerback too. I mean, I'd hate to see him leave. I really like him. I even have one of his signed jerseys and everything too. But
Yeah,
the same side, like Cam Hart, Tariq still really have stepped in really well. And you go and say, hey, look, it's kind of hard to want to pay a guy a lot of money where you got guys that you drafted in your regime, guys that fit what you want as a scheme, and sign a guy that might not be the guy that fits well for your scheme. So who knows? Who knows where it's at?
And it could also be a attitude issue too. You know, maybe he doesn't want to, you know, play for whatever reason. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
You know, but look, Asante, when we interviewed him, I thought he was absolutely incredible. I mean, he just seemed like such a great guy.
Great dude.
Deion Henley was amazing. And I'm just saying, you know, and then Kevin just said this draft comp, you know, and by the way, we all know that Joe Ortiz wants that. He wants as many draft comps as possible. So, anyways.
Yeah. And even with Kenneth Murray too. And actually, I think I saw that Kenneth Murray went on the IR to end the season with the Titans.
Oh, geez.
That changes the draft comp pick that we had from a 5th to a 6th, actually.
Oh, it does?
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy. But regardless, we're going to have more picks, guys. That's where I feel if we're going to talk any free agency or anything like that in these scenarios with these wide receivers out there and people are talking about, hey, I might want to get out of there, you know, like I think there's legitimate shots that there's going to be a trade for a wide receiver. The wide receiver free agency market isn't that big outside of T. Higgins, in my opinion. If we want to find a guy who's a legitimate guy, Garrett Wilson has been a name that's been floating around for a while too from the Jets. You know, throw out Garrett Wilson and go get him. Go get a great wide receiver that would fit extremely well with this team. You got a great quarterback. I'm sure Garrett Wilson would absolutely love to be in LA.
Right.
It makes total sense. So I think there's going to be a lot of trades going on with wide receivers next year too. And I think Chargers are going to be one of those teams really going after wide receivers.
Definitely.
Now, one other rumor I saw out there, Myles Garrett. There's even some people putting bets on Myles Garrett getting traded this offseason. Now, why does that make sense? Well, Myles Garrett did say, hey, I'm going to talk with everybody in the offseason. Tell me how you guys are going to start making this team win. And you think about what's going on with the Browns. I mean, he's been with the Browns for a long period of time. This guy's an absolute menace, too.
Yep.
Not a lot of winning seasons that he's had with them. I mean, he would fit like a glove in this defense. Like, physical edge guy that can go out there and he's a hungry dude. Remember, next year we only got like
hungry.
Thule. Yeah, I think we got Thule and Bud Dupree under contract next season. Essentially, I think we have.
I think we have Bosa too, don't we?
Oh, Bosa.
Bosa is technically, but a lot of people think that we're going to let him go or trade him off or something like that to get another $30 million into our cap. So it's possible.
Right. And I mean, if you leave Bosa out of it, there's a gap in the edge at this point. And if you go after a Myles Garrett, I mean, I don't know what kind of haul it would be to be able to get this guy, but I would absolutely love to see that happen. To be able to bring him there. I mean, that would be phenomenal. But I don't see the Browns anytime soon being a winning franchise, especially with the whole thing with Deshaun Watson. They got a lot of money obligated there. It's crazy amount of money there too. They just don't got it right now. I mean, Kevin Stefanski is, I think, a very, very good head coach, and he's done a good job with what he's been given there.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that? Was it last year he had 3 quarterbacks go down? They still made the playoffs.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's Joe Flacco situation, taking him off the couch, and he still got him to the playoffs. Like, that's crazy to see. I mean, he's a very, very good head coach, but it's going to be a very hard road for them, especially with that Deshaun Watson contract.
Yeah, for sure.
So Myles Garrett, I mean, I think this offseason is going to have some fireworks, in my opinion.
Well, and again, with the amount of money we have, you could also give him an incentive-based contract. I mean, the guy's already made his bags.
Yep.
You know, he wants to win now, right? It's the same thing. Now, and again, I know everyone kind of hates, like, you know, Joey Bosa. I love Joey Bosa. Just the guy cannot stay healthy, man. When he is out there, he is so dominant. You know, he has to learn to play within himself sometimes. Like I think you call him a berserker, right, Kyle?
Yes,
right?
That's right.
And he plays a little spastic, like, you know, and it's like, oh my God, you know, but Myles Garrett kind of doesn't. And I don't know. I just, it would be nice if he had like another contract, they extended out. We'll see what happens. But I don't know. My point is, you know, we'll see if they can work something with that. But if you think about that, you got Myles Garrett, Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, Thule.
I mean,
even for one more year, just one more year, you know, that'd be pretty amazing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, and the thing is, though, I think Khalil Mack, he's in a part of his career, and I hope to be able to see him and essentially just retire as a Charger, in my opinion.
Sure.
Yeah,
Because I think he is an absolute rock on the defense, and he is a very stable player for this team. And I would love to be able to see him come back. And once again, I think he'll take less money to stick around. He's made his bag, right? He's made his bag, and what does he want to do? Win. Same thing, Joey Bosa. I want to win. Would they come back with less deals? I mean, I think Joey Bosa might want to stick around if for less of a deal. What if he's a $15 million type player? What if Khalil Mack's a $20 million player? Would they stick around? I mean, I think they could, but if you go out and get a Myles Garrett guy, that'll change that whole edge room.
That'd be awesome.
The idea of everything. So
yeah.
I mean, I'm not necessarily want to talk too much about the offseason because we got plenty of season in front of us, but at the same side, there's a lot of cool things kind of going on that I think this offseason is going to be really, really fun to watch. Really,
it will
really
be. And the draft will be interesting too. One thing we learned, I'll say this about the draft, just very, just kind of an over, what am I saying, 100-foot view of the draft is that, clearly Joe Ortiz is going to pick the best available player. Well, what does that really mean? It means whoever is available on the board that they have ranked high, whoever's the highest ranked person at that moment, they're going to get that person. They don't care. Yeah. Like, I mean, just look at Target Hill and Cam Hart. They picked them right around the 5th, both of them back to back, and they were clearly the highest rated players, and they were defensive backs. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they had looked at, hey, we need to get some defensive backs, but they're going to get the best available player at any given moment. Look no further than Joe Alt. Joe Alt was the best player on their board. He was their number one player on the board, period. And I don't know. I just think that's interesting. So I guess when we talk about someone like Myles Garrett, you could go out and get another edge rusher potentially, and then replace Joey Bosa as well too. Instead of getting Myles Garrett, get some youth out there. So, anyways, just a thought.
It's funny, man. There's some people saying that Ashton Genty is going to find a way on the Chargers through the draft. I mean, dude, if you got Ashton Genty from Boise State as a back for the Chargers, I mean, that's nasty in the backfield. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with J.K. Dobbins and kind of the whole situation there, too, if he's going to find a way to get re-signed by the Chargers or something. But if you had Ashton Genty with the Chargers, dude, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. You'd have a stellar back. I mean, obviously, college to NFL is a different transition. And it's not like there's been a huge amount of, Boise State running backs that have come to the NFL and really lit it up or anything like that. I mean, Jay Ajayi, I think, is the only guy that comes to mind that came from Boise State. And he did well for a couple of seasons. But, dude, Ashton Genty, I don't know. We'll see what it looks like when teams kind of say, hey, Ashton Genty's running a 4.3 or something like that, and he's just looking like an absolute stellar beast. Would he be a top 10 pick? I mean, you'd probably have to say, I don't know, what team would be in the top 10? Patriots, perfect example. Yeah. Patriots could be a team where they go after an Ashton Genty or something like that. Who knows? But anyways, off-season talk's fun, but we got plenty of season ahead of us. So let's go ahead and talk about the game this weekend. So
dang, man. Yeah, I was like, we spent like more than half of the show talking about the off-season though, for some reason. Like,
hey, that's our shows all the time. We'll go on tangents all day, dude. Like, we'll go off the rails. But let's talk about the offense here. Now, Chargers, obviously, they've been kind of sticking around in that 21-point type per game situation. So mid-tier.
Patriots.
Bad. Ooh, mid-tier. You'd hope that it would get higher than that, but I will say though that we have looked better in the last couple of weeks to be able to score some points, especially against the Broncos. That second half offense was fire to watch, man. Like, it was really, really good too. So at least I could say that last game I feel good about it against a good defense. They actually played better all around. Passing offense 28th in the league, rushing offense 23rd in the league. So it's kind of, you're looking at it like, oh gosh, not looking good. Total offense 24th in the league. I mean, a lot of these marks aren't good, but biggest one to me is that turnover mark at 9, second in the league.
Yeah, that's huge.
It's amazing.
What did Harbaugh say? He said, hey, you know what? You end drives on sacks, you lose games on turnovers. And essentially, just don't turn over the dang ball, because look at what the Patriots at right now. 21 turnovers in the league, at 20th in the league. 47 sacks allowed this season. Now Chargers are at 43, so it's not that much difference, but red zone scoring bad. One of the worst in the league, almost the worst in the league. Third down conversions, 26. This offensively, they're bad. They're just very, very bad offensively, top to bottom.
Bam.
Not
across
good.
the board. We should win. You know, I will bring up one thing, and I think Matt Money Smith talked about this. I think it was either on the Believe podcast with Lorenzo Neal or the Chargers Weekly, but he talked about how I do think that these past few weeks, the game plan has been to keep Justin Herbert in the pocket. And recently, especially this last game, he ran out. He's like, nah, I'm going to run. I'm going to run for this first down. I'm going to do it. I don't care. And let's go. And you know the coaches are like holding their breath, right? They don't want to see him hurt himself even further or whatever. But my point is that's made a huge difference in how this team progressed. And that's where last week, especially, Justin Herbert showed he's an elite quarterback. And he's starting to play elite like as well, too. So I think he's finally starting to understand what they need to do in this offense to be successful, which I think is great. So my point is, you know, we're moving in the right direction offensively, thankfully, right? And I'm just saying, showing this, we should be very dominant in this game. That's why we're being picked by everybody to win this game. And the Patriots want a better draft pick. So what's the real incentive to win, right? You know, they're going to say, well, we want to win, but they might say, all right, we're going to sit a few people here and there. So,
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, in going back to the whole last Bronco game, Charger game, that second half, Justin Herbert, I'm going to call him second half Herbert, you know, he kind of took control of that game. And I loved to see that from him. It kind of reminded me shades of like Josh Allen. If you go back to the 2021 AFC divisional playoff game, Buffalo versus Kansas City, I remember I was flying back from somewhere and the game was being played on NFL Network. And gosh, that whole game was like phenomenal to watch. One of the best games I've seen in a long time. And I remember watching that a while ago, but it still was one of the most entertaining back and forth type game. Quarterbacks making those plays when necessary on a 4th and 5 or whatever it is, like any of these cool situations, just doing those extra effort type things was very, very fun to watch. And I felt like Justin Herbert did that, or he kind of gave me that shades of that, you know, Josh Allen taking over the type game, or a Patrick Mahomes taking over a game and making those necessary plays to extend a drive. Awesome to see, guys. And the growth of Justin Herbert, in my opinion, under Harbaugh has been, to me, I think has been tremendous. And I would love to be able to see playoff Herbert go out there and just take control of games and find ways to just do those extended type plays. I am excited to see where Justin Herbert could potentially be further with Jim Harbaugh. Like, I'm thinking
we run the ball a lot this game too, offensively.
I agree. Yeah.
I think we go 60-40, run the ball, just try to manhandle these guys and just tenderize that meat. You know what I mean? Tenderize that meat.
That's right.
Oh boy. Not again. And also, I'm just going to throw out there too, the Patriots did announce that Ben Brown, their center, is out for this game. So it's supposed to be Cole Strange is supposed to be the center for this game, who is normally their left guard. So Cole Strange is kind of a little change there going on with the center position for the Patriots. So keep an eye out that for the game too.
So you guys remember Cole Strange? Belichick drafted him way early in the draft. Like, everyone thought he'd be like a 3rd round. He scooped him up in like the 1st round or whatever. I remember that whole thing. It was such a funny, but he's been good. He's been really good for the Patriots. So kind of a funny. Anyways,
Cole Strange, because he wasn't even from like a small school too, and it was just like
Cole Strange.
Bro, where's this guy coming from? It's funny because Belichick being over at UNC right now too, he picked up some dude and he got some guy that was from some tiny little podunk school again to come over there, and he's doing what he did in the NFL, getting these. Hopefully, these small school guys will just be big prospects at some point. So he's kind of doing the same thing in college now as a head coach, is what he did in the NFL. So it's pretty funny, but. Bottom line, Patriots offense aren't going to score a whole heck of a lot. Now, remember the last time that we played the Patriots? I think we won 3-0. Remember that game?
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
That was a soccer game. Yeah.
Oh gosh, that was so bad to look at. And so I don't think that's going to be the way that this game works. I think, to be honest, this is where a game our defense could really step up and do a great job of holding them to very low scoring, under 10-point type situation potentially.
That'd be great.
Now, I did want to just kind of point this out. I saw this on Reddit, and I thought it was kind of a cool little, breakdown of quarterbacks and what they've played. So essentially, they got a created rate here, which is create rate means like creating a play when it's completely covered for a quarterback to make something out of it, essentially. EPA is basically getting kind of a points or to get points or create points for an offense as a quarterback, essentially. Drake Maye is up there. Look at that. Yeah. Look at that, man. I mean, he is right there with some of the top of the line quarterbacks in the league. Boom. Yeah. Ooh, that thing got cut off right there. But
yeah, guys,
there was an edge there. This edge right here.
Hey,
right there. See, look at that.
We taught you in elementary school, bro, to stay in the lines. So like
the protractor out here, dude.
Can't do it. Yeah, protractor. I can't. If I could only do that in the digital world, that would be great. But Drake Maye has the ability to create plays. So he is one of the top in the league based upon metrics, which is great. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is kind of right there as the fourth in the league for that kind of metric. So once again, he might not have a whole heck of a lot of offensive weapons, but he's finding ways to make things happen. Yeah. And you got to make sure you keep an eye on Drake Maye. I mean, Drake Maye has played pretty well and, could be one of the better UNC-based quarterbacks to come out of the NFL. So,
yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens. I am curious to see. Well, of course, we want to see him get donkey punched this week, of course. But but my point is he has looked a lot better. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out for sure. It is kind of funny. You can't really see Justin Herbert in this. He's right underneath.
Right here,
right there,
with Darnold and Herbert, Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah,
that's frustrating to see.
I would say this though: he would probably be more like Jaden Daniels if he was not banged up this year, right? Yeah. I think that's where he would have been.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. But, I think the thing is, though, too, what it boils down to is wins, though, too. So, I mean, I think that we're in a pretty good situation right now. And, Drake Maye might be at that level because he's got no offensive weapons. He's got to just figure it out for himself. And so I think the thing is, Justin Herbert has done well where it needs to happen for him. So what is I think what he's saying, play your best when you need to be your best, essentially. And I think that Justin Herbert's done it pretty well. I mean, that last week's game versus the Broncos was a very, very big stamp kind of win for Justin Herbert and for Jim Harbaugh this season. So great things to come ahead for this team. So, but excited to see everything kind of grow with this team further. So talking defense here, guys, defense, we're still number one in the league, 18 points.
Number one. That's amazing.
Game. So has been going up. Looking good. But, passing defense, 15th, rushing defense, 17th, total defense, 15th. I mean, I think we talked about this last year. We just want our defense to be mid-tier. If we can just be mid-tier and have an offense that could score, which we thought was going to be top 10, probably ain't going to be that.
Yeah.
But it's an opportunistic type defense that we've done a good job of getting takeaways. 19th, 42 sacks, 7th in the league. Red zone defense, play your best when you need to be your best. That's a perfect metric right there.
Right. That's it.
So, that's huge right there, guys. That's
awesome.
Understated right there.
Take that all day, baby. So looking good. And even to say that this metric right here trips me out too, because I'm thinking third down conversions. Like I feel like we give up a lot of third down conversions, and we're 10th best in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of weird to look at.
Well, it was kind of lopsided. Like it was the that other game that we played against the Bucks. That one really kind of skewed a lot of the stats for sure.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, when you have a bad game like that, it kind of throws things off a bit too for us for sure. But as their defense, I think is better than what it's stated on paper, but they have been giving up about 24, 25 points per game the last 4 games, I believe, or 5 games, I think it is. So they really aren't the best at what they're doing, but at the same side, they're not a good looking team period right now. So hypothetically, this should be a game that we should find a good way to beat them and get a lot of sacks. I think some takeaways are quite possible too with this team. I think that we could actually do a great job. Personally, I would love to be able to hear in the chat. Do you feel like we would be a team? This could be a team where this defense could go back on track, maybe give up at most like 10 points this game.
I'd be so sick.
Personally, I think that's what it's going to be like this game. I think we get back on that early season defense track, find a way to only give up maybe 10 points this game. Chargers win whatever amount of points we need to win.
And we can continue tenderizing that meat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know?
And yes, Carlos, those were supposed to be check marks. I'm using my pad on my laptop here, so it doesn't really work out as well.
My gosh.
If I had a mouse, it would probably be a little easier, but
yeah, you need a mouse. Yeah, you need
what I got. I got a pen for it, baby. That's right.
Even better, dude.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I literally do got the crayon.
Yeah, but we are going to be going live also as well. That'll be a lot of fun for us to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, we'll be live during the game, so we'll be doing the play-by-play and everything. All three of us, so we will be together. Andrew's in.
I guess we won't have to do a post-game show at that point.
Not really, no. Yeah,
we won't have to do a post-game show. So
it's gonna be the official Bros cast, you know. Yeah.
Broscast, dude.
Broscast.
I think we can talk briefly after the game of, hey, this is what we think. Here you go, boom, 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 done. You know, fast forward to this point on the video. You know,
30 minutes. You know, after or 30 minutes before, you know, something like that. You know, it'll be a bit of a marathon for us though, guys. So we haven't done that before. So yeah, togetherness.
Oh boy,
yeah.
But it'll be good, man. I'm looking forward to this game, man. And bottom line, the goal is win. You know, we win, we are in the playoffs. That's what matters. You know, we win, it's over with. We're in the playoffs one way or another, either the 5th to the 7th seed. One way or another, we'll be in the playoffs. And that's the goal all around for this game. You know, don't make it harder on yourselves. Don't do the Charger thing and find a way to lose this game and then make it harder on yourself the last game of the season. Crazy to think about that you play against the Raiders in Las Vegas. And remember last time when we tried to go out there to win a game to get to the playoffs, it became an absolute mess. Still one of the best games, even though it didn't go well for the Chargers.
Yeah, exactly.
But don't make it hard on yourselves. Go out there, handle your business before your business handles you. Make it happen. Make it happen.
Handle your business before your business handles you.
That's from Exhibit.
Ooh.
That's Exhibit, dude.
Hey, let's make that a bumper sticker. I like that. I like that.
That's good.
I like that.
No doubt, dude. So great game this weekend, though. So I'm looking forward to it all around, man.
That's right.
So good one. Yeah. And once again, this is not that Patriot team of past 2 decades. Totally different team, guys, and totally different everything about the team.
Yep.
Team that's struggling to try to find its identity after Tom Brady has moved on and Belichick is out.
Yeah, let's not Staley this thing.
Yes, definitely not.
Please don't.
Terrible idea.
Not booty stank it. You know, BS for booty stank.
Well, I'll give my final thoughts. I'll say this. I think this is obviously a winnable game. I think we should win. I don't want to give any more predictions. I'm kind of done with the whole prediction thing. But I will say this.
Yeah, we can't do predictions because that jinx it for us. I feel like you know. So,
I agree.
Yeah,
I do think we're going to run the ball a lot this week, right? I think they want to get the offense just moving the ball. As I said before, tenderize that meat. You know what I mean? And then,
oh boy,
that's the thought of the day. Tenderize that meat, and then just manhandle these dudes. You know what I mean? It'd be a lot of fun.
You just did a double handy right there. Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Tenderize that meat. That's right, guys. That's my final thought.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is with me about this game is that the Patriots clearly they don't really have much to play for. In a lot of ways, they actually want to lose, so that way they have the higher draft picks. I don't know if they already have the quarterback that they really want, so I don't know what they really need at this point, too, though. You know, so but the Patriots are definitely in hibernation mode. You know, no more Belichick, no more Tom Shady, you know, on the team. You know, so like they're just trying to rebuild. They're just trying to get their situation ship better again, and so this is the great opportunity for the Chargers to lock it in, playoff bound, no matter what. If we get this win, pretty much, we getting this win. You know, I believe we are, but I mean, hey, they did play tough against the Chiefs. You know, like a couple teams they played tough against them. So we can't we can't just go into this thing and expect the win, just to be handed to us by any means. Like they are still an NFL team. I hate that I have to say that all the time, but we got to pay respect to the Patriots because of all the years of pain and suffering they have caused for us. So yeah. Sam Cook, man, thanks for the sponsorship shout out for us, like that.
Well, yeah. And the one thing too, the Patriots are sitting right now at the second pick. Now it's funny that the Raiders won last week, that threw them out of the first pick.
Yeah,
quite hilarious too. So they really don't have too much to go for. I mean, it's really just about building for the future. I mean, their head coaching with Gerard Mayo, like there's even talks about him getting let go, which is crazy to think about that.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have much to play for. We got a lot to play for. Go out there and act like you want to get to the playoffs, Chargers. That's the big thing about this game. Go out there and act like you want to win and get to the playoffs. Please don't do those type of games where you just kind of seem like you're going to play on their level. Play your game.
Right. That's right.
And punch them in the mouth. Play your physical game. Go out there and get a dub. Come back home with playoffs ready. Now go out there the next week and beat the Raiders. By the way, every day.
Yes, right.
Carlos said
all gas, no brakes, baby. Let's go.
All gas, no brakes.
All ass, no brakes?
Gas, fool.
Gas. You got to get them hearing aids in, I guess, huh? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, guys. Well, we're the Bolt Bros. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Yep.
Bolt Bros.
See you guys. Live broadcast, play-by-play. Remember, tomorrow we will be there.
Play-by-play.
Play-by-play.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Hey, what's up? Cameron Dick here watching Bolt Bros podcast. Let's go.
Charged up, Bolt Bros on the night. LA Thunder in electric delight. Bolts in the battle, sparking bright. Charged up, ride the lightning, feel the fright.